Oh, we are talking about The Patient on Hulu
Bah!
with Steve Carell and some Irish guy who was in
Donald Gleason.
Harry Potter. That's
Yes.
Donald Gleason?
Yeah.
Is it related to Jackie Gleason, the guy who played King Joffrey?
Oh, you're asking a lot. They might just both.
Just B. Gleason. And
B.
also Jackie Gleason
Gleasons.
from The Honeymooners?
You're asking a lot here.
Anyway, we're talking about The Patient. I wrote some notes, Toby. You ready for my notes, everybody?
Do you want to do non-spoiler or no?
Non-spoiler.
Yeah.
It's very good. I like it a lot. It's very slow-paced compared to maybe what you might be used to if you're watching things like She-Hulk right now and like Lord of the Rings and like House of the Dragon like we are.
No. You got to stop because all those are pretty slow-paced.
You're right. You're right. You know what? It's exactly as paced as those things are.
It is slow-paced in the sense
It's
that...
not like action.
Right. So it's not action. There is not that much dialogue. There's a lot of like background music and like small acting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like close-ups.
A lot of yes.
There's
It's a lot
not
of
that many sets. It's just
intimate, I think is the
I think intimate is good. Now, non-spoiler for me, it did take me several tries.
She didn't even like it. She fell asleep for like the first 4 episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I binged it, so you know I like it.
Right. So Gino was very reluctant to watch it.
I'm like, She-Hulk and House of the Dragon, blah, 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 blah.
Right. He was very focused on the big things. And I was like, we should watch The Patient. Like people at work are watching it. And it took me like a long time. I still have missed parts because like I watched a few episodes by myself and like definitely wasn't paying attention. But I will say it picks up and interesting things do happen.
I think it's interesting the entire time.
No.
It's an interesting premise. I don't want to give too much away in the non-spoiler review. But yeah, for me, it's definitely going to be a for better.
I mean, the premise is given away in the trailer. So like,
all right, so like it's Steve Carell plays a psychiatrist who gets kidnapped by his patient.
Therapist. We know that.
Therapist. He's in the basement. He's in a basement the whole time. But anyway, for better. Really? You can have your own opinion. Is this gonna be the first time we give a different opinion on a show?
Yeah, I'm gonna need the rest of the show, but like episode 1 through 5 for me is like worse. Episode 6 for better. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's our podcast.
Okay,
Get in the kitchen.
rules.
I mean, never mind.
Yeah.
No, go back to the kitchen. This is a man podcast. Okay, spoilers for episodes 1 through 6 because that's the only thing that's out right now, unless we've missed something. Okay, so I wrote some notes.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers for episode 1 through 6.
Yep.
Okay, so first thing, I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but like it's just so refreshing watching something right now because I feel like, especially with the podcast, we're so like trying to catch up with all these big shows right now, like House of the Dragon and She-Hulk and all this stuff. It's very refreshing to just like sit and watch like a very simple drama,
Short
thriller. It's relatively short episodes, like 20 something minutes.
Yeah.
It's very intimate. It's just like, mostly 2 characters for the entire show.
Right. Like it seems low budget, but like high quality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, like if you've seen Hulu's other dramas, it's that similar level of quality.
right. And I would, and it is nice seeing a different story. This is a totally different story than anything I think you've ever been used to.
Yeah, it's a unique premise that I've not heard of before. I'm sure there's like some movie from the 70s where it's like the exact same thing that we've never heard of.
Right.
Or like some German movie where it's the same thing. But this is, for at least us, a very new, refreshing premise. So like that's just the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, oh God, there's no like explosions. And like I love all that stuff, but I just like need a break right now.
Right. And I was actually really surprised how much Gino liked it.
I'm surprised how much I like it because I shouldn't like it, and I really do.
Right. So, I mean, that's saying something, I think, for the show.
Am I becoming an adult, everybody? Is my taste changing? Okay, so I also wrote, Hulu looks like they're focusing on pretty good dramas right now. So, like, if you like The Bear, I mean, this is nothing like The Bear, but it really seems like Hulu, instead of focusing on, like, big budget action craziness, is really focusing their efforts on, like, dramas. I'm seeing a lot of trailers for, like, This Fool, that show where they're in California.
Fool.
Okay, I know it says the L at the end, Toby. Come on. Get with the times.
This fool.
I've been to California once. I know how they say
Oh,
it.
yeah?
So it just seems like Hulu's really focusing on like very I don't want to say low budget, but like just dramas that are good.
And like well written. Yeah.
Well written dramas, good characters.
I've heard This Fool is really good. And the shows that we've been watching are really good.
I guess we could have said all this stuff in the non-spoilers group, but whatever. Okay, spoilers. Toby. So the Steve Carell, pretty important part of his character is that he is Jewish.
Yes.
It comes up quite a bit in all of his flashbacks. He has a son that, so they're like, I'm guessing they're conservative Jews.
Like from a formerly conservative Jew, I don't think I can call myself that anymore.
Gasp, Toby! Don't let your rabbi watches this.
I'm
Toby.
sorry, Rabbi
He's gonna get really upset.
Yeah,
I didn't do it to her. It's not my fault.
it's not his fault. His temple's a lot. And so I think they're conservative.
Okay, I mean, not that part matters, but they're not Orthodox. I think is what matters.
Maybe they're not because they don't care about kosher, so they might even be reform.
Okay, all right, yeah. So they're like. Not that, I mean, they're serious enough Jews that she's a cantor. She goes to temple. She's involved in the temple.
It would seem that they are definitely like spiritually Jewish, like are proud of their Jewish heritage.
They go to temple.
Right. Mom's,
sings.
Beth, his wife, was a cantor. She plays guitar. So they're very involved in the temple activities and like at least in the faith itself, not maybe the rules per se.
Right. And by the way, all of this is through flashbacks. So like this is not the main crux of the story.
Right.
And I usually don't like stories that rely on flashbacks, but they don't do it that much. It's maybe only like a few minutes at most every flashback, so you don't get bored of them.
Exactly. They leave you wanting more, like, I want to know more about his family.
Like,
we haven't even met his daughter yet.
No, we haven't seen his daughter. We've seen, so his son, they're like pretty chill Jewish people. They're not, they're not Orthodox. He marries an Orthodox Jew. So then he becomes very serious. It's a big conflict with his mom. And like the kids can't even eat food when they go to the grandparents. It's all this stuff, just these little flashbacks. And although I think Steve Carell is great in this show, it would have been nice, I guess, if like they got a Jewish actor to play the main guy who's like apparently a big part of his story is that he's Jewish.
Right.
I mean, if you just got a psychiatrist.
She's a therapist. He can't give medicine.
Whatever a therapist?
Therapist, because he can't give medicine.
If you got a therapist.
Sorry.
And he got kidnapped by his patient, like you obviously would not need to make that character Jewish. But like the fact that he is Jewish seems to be a pretty important part of this show. Toby, this is the one part of the podcast where I need you as a Gentile. I need you to help me back me up here.
I'm so sorry. I'm just, I'm a little upset because I thought that his son was in Supernatural.
No one cares about Supernatural.
I do.
Yeah, no, please.
And I don't. If
we ever review Supernatural on this show, we're going to have to review, what's that new show, The Winchesters?
Yeah, we have to watch
But I need you here, Tobes. I'm dying out here.
I'm with you. I'm sorry.
Obviously, it's whoever created the show, it's their intent for this character that like being Jewish is an important part of this character.
Right.
Because you could have just made him a therapist that Judaism had nothing to do with it. Right? So I'm not saying that like don't get Steve Carell to play a Jewish person or like don't get Steve Carell to play a therapist. I also think Steve Carell is really great in this show.
Oh, he's so good.
And I think it would have been worse without him, in my opinion. And I'll talk about why I think that. But if you're going to make the fact that he's Jewish such a really, really important part of his character, like maybe get someone, like don't just like slap a beard on a white guy and be like, he's Jewish, he has a beard. Right.
And if like, because people,
no one's complaining about this except for me. Even you don't, you said you don't
hear
really
me
care.
out.
Oh, people are complaining about this?
No.
Oh.
Also I don't hit Twitter up for the patient.
The patient?
Sorry. I can't imagine that Twitter's that interesting.
Right.
But like, so recently in Hollywood, right, people are upset when you Brendan Fraser is in this movie The Whale, right, where he plays an obese person.
He's a human, and he can't play it. He's a human.
He's not I know. I guess Gino's making the jokes today.
Thanks.
He'll be here all night. But anyway, so he plays like a 600-pound man who's morbidly obese, and people are like, "That's cool, it's Brendan Fraser," but like, get someone that is morbidly obese. I am not disagreeing. I'm not saying I don't have an issue with Steve Carell. But if people are going to make a big fuss about all of these other actors playing like when they say you have a gay character, it's not played by a gay actor. When you have a trans character played by a non-trans actor, like like if you want to stay that true, right, and give those people roles for sure, right? We have wonderful. We have Coda, right, where you have deaf actors in a movie. Like they should be deaf.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not even one of those people who says that.
You're not, but
Yeah.
but that's your train of thought right now. Is like if it's going to be like, of course, an actor can act. Duh, he can act Jewish. To be honest, he doesn't do a Jewish accent.
Okay, so like I'm going from the complete opposite, probably a more effed up version of this, where it's like, I don't mind if they would gotten a non-Jewish actor play him, or like, you know, put Brendan Fraser in a fat suit. Who, like, where are you going to find a 600-pound actor? Right. I'm not even one of those people, right? Obviously, there's some extreme cases like, don't get a white guy to play Black Panther, right? Like, what are you doing? Right. Like, don't do that. But like, I'm not one of those people who says that like you have to be the thing
that you're playing,
right? Yeah. Like, so I can only play someone who's like, you know, a certain percentage Italian and Greek. I got it. But although I think Steve Carell is great in this and his character is awesome and he's a good actor, he doesn't seem Jewish to me. And like, maybe again, I obviously am married to a Jewish person. I guess I have some experience.
Also, he's also from New York. We are from New York.
Right. So like
the Jews we are familiar with sound like me.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So like, but he's not.
Just turn my mic off. I'm going to keep myself to a deeper hole. But like, you can't just slap a beard on a guy and then he's Jewish. And
right.
Like, what?
Well, and then we're gonna go all the way to the next point. Right, the bottom one, because I think this is a good segue into it.
We can skip to that part now. So I'll ask you this, Toby.
Right.
Like, so now I would say it hasn't happened until episode 6 that this started happening. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden in episode 6, they started having him, how does he put it as a therapist? He's disassociating, right? So he has an imaginary friend, which we'll talk about. And he's starting to see himself, since he's kidnapped and chained up, he's starting to see himself as someone from the Holocaust. So, like, what are your thoughts on the fact that, like, now they're just throwing in Holocaust stuff into the show?
Right. And as a Jewish person, it feels weird. It feels very forced because, no offense, you are not in the Holocaust. Yes, you are trapped. You are not being gassed. I'm
not talking about, I guess, from the character perspective. I'm talking about, like, from the people who made the show.
Oh,
they're, like, throwing in some Holocaust stuff.
Well, I'm just saying that it is a big leap to, like, show that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt weird to me because I was even the first time you see him, he's in like a bunk and he looks at fellow Jews in like the striped pajamas, right? So, or the striped
exactly.
I don't think they're called pajamas, but I don't think
they're pajamas.
Well, they're not, but it's the boy in the striped pajamas is like the thing that came to mind. Yeah. You know that story? Mm-hmm. So
he sees like the gas chambers and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And it feels strange in this setting because one, you were not in the Holocaust. Right.
Right. So, and you weren't even around for that.
Right. You weren't even around.
You're Steve Carell's age.
Right. So I don't know where it came from.
It's like, I mean, I don't know about the writers or the showrunners of the show. They might very well be Jewish. They might have a lot of experience with this stuff. But this seems like the kind of thing that someone who's not Jewish would write about a Jewish character. Like, oh, what do we know about Jewish people? They have beards, they wear yarmulkes, they go to temple, and they have horrible flashbacks to the Holocaust whenever they get scared. It's like, what? Where'd that fourth thing come from?
Right. Like, I don't know. I mean, the writers are Joel Fields.
Is that a Jewish name?
I mean, Joel. But I guess it could be either. And Joseph Weisberg.
Okay, so like Joseph Weisberg.
We're
hit
like
us up.
Going by backgrounds here, by last names.
We're going by last names. We're also horrible people, I guess. We're just assuming you're Jewish because your last name's Weisberg.
It's just like, let us know if you thought that was a little weird, or how you felt about it, or maybe we're like missing the like symbolism of it or something. But
it's like a really messed up version of like when Super Mario falls asleep and he starts like dreaming about spaghetti and meatballs and stuff in Super Mario 64. It's like, is that all you know about Italian people?
Right. I guess you can think about it that way.
It's like a really, really messed up version of that. Like that's funny with Italians. Like, ha ha ha, like spaghetti and meatballs. But like every Jewish person character is like scared of the Holocaust. It's like, ugh.
Right. That's tough.
So I'd like to know why they made that decision.
I think that's a good question to ask. Why?
I still really like the show, though.
I know.
Like after all that we just said, And even though I don't believe Steve Carell as a Jewish person, I do believe I really like the show, and I really like him in the show.
He is a very good therapist.
Yeah, and like his voice is really, and that's even after he was a rapist in Morning Show.
Oh yeah.
So like I didn't want to watch this because I'm like, I can't look at Steve Carell anymore.
Actually, he had to take a really long break.
Yeah.
From Steve Carell after.
Yeah, I was like,
Show.
oh my god, I only gray-haired Steve Carell, like regular Steve Carell, I'm still cool with.
So we can watch 40-Year-Old
Office,
Virgin.
real Carell, right?
Office,
Those are all cool. They don't do
great.
any rapes. But to me, gray-haired Steve Carell does rapes, and I can't.
It's
I'm
tough.
not down with that. So the fact that this Steve Carell, I completely forgot about that. He's a good therapist, man.
I will like his therapist voice though is so boring, which is why we're just gonna get to my point now.
So yeah, I wrote down Toby. Oh, I didn't write it.
Unbelievable! This was my
I was basically trying to say
favorite
that
part.
Toby didn't like until episode 6, but you already said that.
But because this is when he starts disassociating, or like we see it, and he talks to his dead therapist, and this is the Steve
His
Carell
dead therapist friend.
Well, I mean, they like therapists have therapists, so this
Which is
probably
a real job. So that's cool.
So I think this is the person that he would go talk to. It's the person from Jumanji, everybody. The guy that gives Robin Williams his shoes when he's a kid.
I don't remember.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
I was like, I know this
Jumanji.
person. Ugh, we'll have to watch it.
I know.
But anyway, so it's like that's the buddy Steve Carell. Like his therapist asked him, like,
Yeah.
his therapist was like, "How are you feeling?" He's like, "Well, Beth is dead. My son hates me, and I've been kidnapped by a sociopath." Like that's the Steve Carell that I want to see. And so therapist Steve Carell is like keeps putting me to sleep.
Well, it's not just therapist Steve Carell. It's therapist Steve Carell who fears for his life and has to keep doing therapist stuff.
I know.
To not get killed. So it's like it's even a level beyond that.
I know. So he's like he's pretending to be
therapist-y.
extra calm.
Yeah.
But like this is the part of him that I'm very much enjoying. So I hope this like becomes a thing, and I'm sad it took up until episode 6.
Guess it is strange because even in the flashbacks, he doesn't speak much in the flashbacks. And a lot of the flashbacks are like his wife dying, or like his wife throws a plate at a wall because she's mad at her son. So you don't really see him being like happy in his flashbacks either.
No.
So yeah, I guess him starting to go crazy and talk to an imaginary friend is the first time we really see him.
We like see him as a person.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. What's the imaginary friend's actor's name?
He has 3 of them. Hang on.
He has 3 imaginary friends?
He has 3 names.
Oh, I mean, like I have 4 names.
No. David Allen Greer.
That's David Allen Greer?
Yes.
I've heard that person's name my entire
know.
life.
We talked
I didn't know
about
what he
it.
looked like.
I'm going to show
It's like
you
Patricia. I just learned who Patricia Arquette is.
because we're watching Little Nicky.
We're watching Little Nicky again. Heads up for a bonus episode this week. All right, would you like to move on, Toby?
Yeah, I'm going to show you a picture of David Allen Greer from Jumanji, though.
Okay, thank you. And you can hold it up to the camera for the audio listeners.
Of course.
Yes. Okay, I would like to talk, Toby J. Klein, about the villain of the show, who is, I think, one of the better villains I have witnessed in quite a while. I think he is very scary, sociopath level scary, psychopath level scary, in like a Joker sense. I know him. Okay.
Oh, he's the cop. Sorry. I
Yeah.
got the person wrong. No,
Yeah, that's him.
that's him. Yeah, and he used to work at the shoe factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's everybody.
David Allen Greer. Can you see? No, it's overexposed. You can't. They can't see.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, everybody at home. So the villain's like very scary in how like normal he is. And I think he really thinks that he's normal and there's nothing wrong with him.
He just thinks that this is a compulsion. This is like, I have
yeah.
to knock on the door 3 times, or I have to
To murder
clean
this
something.
Greek guy.
Right, I have to murder is his
Sorry, comedy comes in
compulsion.
3s and I did it in the second one. Damn. I
Ha!
ruined it. I'm going to end the podcast now. Boom. So yeah, it's like a very unique villain. There's not like he's not like mustache twirling, like Joker making big speeches, laughing. I'm gonna dance in the steps in the Bronx or whatever the Joaquin Phoenix
He
did.
loves Kenny Chesney.
And I like that movie by the way. He loves Kenny Chesney, which I know he's bad because I mean country music. Anyone who likes country music, I think that's the moral of the show. If you like country music,
You're a
murder.
sociopath.
Murder, sociopath. Yeah, so it's just like a unique take on a villain that truly like has a normal life, and like he meets his ex-wife, and like you expect his ex-wife to be like, like a murderer guy, like abuser, but apparently he was like fine.
No, and it really seems like he only takes his aggression out on the people he wants to kill. Like his mother is so hell-bent on fixing him.
Mom.
Yeah, right?
Weird.
I don't know. Like, listen, I don't know if like I know that my son's murdering people and I'm going to be like chill about it.
Yeah, would you turn in your son if he was doing murders?
Would you?
Who'd he murder?
A Greek guy at a restaurant.
So random Greek guy at a restaurant. Okay, I'm turning him in.
Okay.
Give me another one.
Who wouldn't you turn him in for?
Okay, what if like someone was breaking into the house and our son murdered him?
And like protected us?
Yeah, I don't think we have stand your ground laws in New York. So
I mean, I think I would have to call the cops anyway to like report it. No, we're burying,
but like,
we're burying the
would
person
you
in the
let me then
backyard.
take the blame for it so that he doesn't get in trouble?
I mean, was it in self-defense?
Yeah, but I don't know if you're allowed to do that in New York. Someone tweet at us.
Someone tell us if
A
our
lawyer,
son's
are
going
we allowed to
prison
kill
or
someone who comes to
not.
our house in New York? I don't know. This
Yeah.
ain't Florida, so I have no idea. Maybe if they're wearing a hoodie in Florida, you can kill them. I think that's what. Yeah, I think that's the law in Florida, right? If they're wearing a hoodie, you can just shoot them.
Just so you guys know, it's not. Please don't do that.
Please don't do that, but I think
Right.
it's legal in Florida.
You should look up the laws there.
Yeah, I mean, like I should just stop making it from Florida because of,
Also, look up the Trayvon Martin case so you know what we're
Toby.
talking about.
You can't talk about. People get mad when we bring up politics on this podcast.
Sorry, everybody.
Also, Florida is having a bad time right now. They're
Florida is having a
underwater.
bad
So
time.
I hope
Sorry
everyone's
about
doing
her.
well from Ian. When your power comes back on, listen to the podcast. Okay. So what do you think of this villain, Toby?
No, I agree with you. I think he's again. I keep falling asleep, so like clearly I'm not scared by him.
I don't get how you keep falling asleep during the
Things
show.
because it's so.
I think it's so tense.
There are 25-minute episodes, and I'm asleep by minute 8.
Our podcast
like-
episode is going to be twice as long as one of these episodes of the show.
So like it's just like he's just very calm. Even when he was like murdering that guy, he's like, I gotta do it now.
Yeah,
and
I just got to kill him. Like,
and just pounces on
like
him.
the way that you would be like with a chocolate bar in the fridge. Like,
I just
got
gotta
to go
have
eat
it.
it. Why are you putting your chocolate bars in the fridge? Oh, God.
Why?
Who tells these stories? Do people actually do that? People put chocolate bars in the fridge?
I would like some of our
I
chocolate
think
bars
the
in the
fat
fridge.
congeals to the top. Let you get that cloudy.
Yeah, but like, why are you leaving it in there that long?
I don't know. I guess in this situation, I'm a psychopath murderer guy who's
I
putting
guess.
chocolate in the fridge.
Listen, Gino doesn't leave anything in the fridge long enough for any fat to congeal. So-
Oh, the fat congeals, Toby. It just doesn't congeal in the fridge.
That's right, that's
it congeals over here. Okay, so we both like this villain, I guess, except for you don't like this villain because you keep falling asleep.
I'm just bored. Okay, and again, my last
Stop
point.
praising the show if you don't like it.
No. Here's my last point.
Okay.
I was expecting Dexter. The premise of the show is a murderer hires a therapist or kidnaps a therapist.
I've never watched Dexter. Did that happen to Dexter?
No.
Oh.
Dexter has a compulsion to kill people, so he kills bad people
Oh.
every episode.
Maybe this is a prequel to Dexter.
This cannot be right. Couldn't no. No, we see Dexter as a baby. But like, so if you are somebody, and now one of my coworkers and I talked about this, and when she had said, she said this unprompted that she thought it would be Dexter, and I was like, wow, that's exactly what I thought. And Dexter was well paced. It was quirky. Like, you got a guy who literally has a compulsion. His dad teaches him how to kill people, so like he doesn't get in trouble for killing people, and he only kills bad guys. So like, I was hoping that this would be more of an every episode a murder happens. And it's not. And it's every 5 episodes.
Yeah, I guess if you're also a crazy person who likes murder, then this is not going to be your show.
No, it is definitely slower. There's less dialogue. I think
There's a lot. I mean, this whole show is dialogue.
No, but it's not. Because there's so much, there's breaks. So the breaks are so long between the dialogue. That's why I keep falling
It's
asleep.
a lot of face acting.
It's a lot of face acting, a lot of music in the
Yeah, but
background.
it's good face acting. All the acting's good.
Yeah, but my eyes are closed. I don't see it.
Again, I'm shocked with how much I like the show. And I'm questioning like my own, not that it's bad, but I'm like,
think
this
it's
is
a good
not up my alley show. And I really like it.
Right. I think, and that's great. And I'm glad that you like it because I brought you into this.
I brought you into the show. I can take you out of it.
I don't want to, though. I need you to help me.
Keep watching it?
Keep watching
yeah.
it.
Do you know how many episodes are in the season?
I guess I can find out.
This also seems like a very like one season kind of thing. If there's more seasons of this. Who's calling? Your mom's calling you. Answer the
Sorry, Mom.
phone.
I hung up on her. Looks like we've got 10 episodes. Ooh. I just saw the title of episode 9. And
Don't look at the titles.
Sorry, but I think we're going to find out more.
No, I don't want to say it. Don't say it out loud.
I won't say it.
Don't spoil it for me or the audience.
I won't.
All right. Last thing, Toby, since you're such a fan of murders, what was your thoughts on the episode 5, spoiler alert, murder scene? We finally see him murder someone in the show. Did you fall asleep during that the first time?
Yes. I didn't even know that he was murdered. I thought that I had watched episode 5 and went to episode 6 and he was like starting to like get supplies to bury someone. And I was like, oh no, I missed it. So I had to rewatch it. So I went back and I rewatched it. And even then, like it was, I don't know, like how did you feel about it?
So I've seen a lot of murders on screen before.
Have you?
Watching movies and TV and stuff.
Right.
I think because of how well Steve Carell sold that, so like sold the fear in his eyes and the desperation and all that stuff, and like how much he did not want this person to be murdered. Steve Carell specifically made that a very, very intense murder scene for me. I actually felt like in here, like the tenseness in here, from Steve Carell's reaction during the murder. I thought that was like he's just like, no.
Yeah,
like,
he just says no over and over
so
again.
Like that was amazing. And then just how shut down he got after the murder.
I guess that's when he started disassociating. So maybe that was his trigger. That's what he needed. Yeah.
To me, that was one of the most intense murder scenes I'd ever sat through. Not because of the murder itself. They don't really show it. And all he's doing is like strangling him.
Yeah.
It's because of how Steve Carell was reacting to that murder. So again, man, like Second City, they're like killing it over there.
Improv actors. Good.
Thank you.
Leave the jokes to me.
Do you think other Second City alum would have done a good job in that scene? Tina Fey.
I've seen Tina Fey in like one serious movie. The one where she sits Shiva. No.
What is with all these not Jewish people playing Jewish? I mean, like, she's Greek.
She's Greek.
But, like, come on. I'm
hang on.
Greek.
Steve Colbert.
Could he have done it?
Could he have done it?
As his character, Stephen Colbert.
No. I think if there's one late night character Gino misses the most,
miss
also
Stephen
me.
Colbert so much. His new show sucks
I
so
just have
bad.
to say, I mean, it's
Trevor Noah is leaving
he's his
the
own
Daily
person.
Show.
I know. Do you think Jon Stewart's coming back? Would you die?
I don't know. It depends on how much money the Apple dumps at
Comedy
his...
Central?
Yeah, can Comedy Central beat Apple?
Viacom.
Okay.
What can we do?
Good luck with that, Viacom.
Yeah, no, I guess not. Is it still owned by Viacom?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like SpongeBob, like all the, Nickelodeon.
SpongeBob is where you go?
SpongeBob
Yeah.
and John the Daily Show.
And Comedy Central.
So I'm hoping that Stephen Colbert takes over.
He's
the
not
Daily
going to
Show
leave late
as
night.
his own.
See, that's the thing. Because now we get like Stephen Colbert, who's like a liberal.
Right, which he should have went back to his real name of Stephen Colbert. But anyway, what?
Sorry.
That's his real name, isn't it?
I don't know.
That is his real name.
Does he go by Colbert? We have a friend with the last name Colbert.
Colbert. Yeah, no, his real name is Colbert, but he used Colbert as like a joke. And then he used that for real.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry. Just wondering if Stephen Colbert then could do it because he came up with Steve Carell.
Yeah, and so now what I want to just go out there and say this to the internet. Please tweet this at the Second City alum, Amy Poehler and all them.
Amy Poehler was UCB.
She started UCB, but I think she's Second City alum.
I think she came from Chicago.
I would like the rest of the famous Second City alum to please edit themselves into that scene and see if they can do a better job than Steve Carell does, because Steve Carell, I think, does a great job.
Let's see.
I think I'm liking drama Steve Carell more than comedy Steve Carell. He was great in Morning Show Season 1.
He was. I like all Steve Carell's. What else is Steve Carell in?
I think it's the gray hair, man. It does it for me.
I mean, like, listen, he is a zaddy. Like, he just gets better
very
with
attractive.
age.
Yes.
And I think that's like his IMDb picture.
Wait, you can say Zaddy, but I can't say foo without the L. Is that?
Yeah, because Zaddy is just a hot dad.
Right, but like you're saying it with the Z, and it's like that's like a thing, like a slang thing.
Oh.
So I can't say foo? Like,
no.
I'm not doing it right?
No, fool for
Fool.
you.
Okay, never mind. I forgot he's in Minions. I don't like Steve Carell anymore. He's in freaking Despicable Me.
Yeah, but look how sexy he looks in whatever this is.
I think that's The Big Short. And yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve Carell, man. Good looks.
Like if I would love for you to look like Steve Carell.
I wish. I got to lose a little bit of
He does look so good.
Okay, Tubbs, let's the camera is fogging up. All right, with that, everybody, before I lose my wife to Steve Carell. Okay, I'm going to try to do Toby. Thanks for listening.
Everything?
I think, we're good. I think we got everything.
Oh yeah,
Millie was like not interested in the show that much. She's like over there behind the camera.
I know. I guess. Yeah. No. Let me get it. Let me get it up.
All right, stick around. We're gonna be doing a special bonus episode this week.
Yes.
We're gonna review Little Nicky for some reason.
What do you mean some reason?
Because the guy's in the House of the Dragon.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix.
All right,
So
not right now. Oh, it's on Netflix, right? But not right now.
No, not right now. But go watch it, and then you could like watch it. You can like listen to us with us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it.
Yay.
Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and want to know more, visit our website for better or worse at buzzsprout.com and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you use so you never miss an episode.
Side effects include
like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat. To let us know what you think, comment and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show.
like and subscribe.
See you next time when we talk more movies and TV. Bye.
Peace.